Let me take a wild guess. You've encountered a man who doesn't chase, doesn't brag, and never tries to impress you, and yet he lingers in your mind. He's not the loudest in the room. In fact, to most people, he might seem invisible. But to you, he stands out like a storm crackling against a silent sky. That's not some random coincidence. That's Sigma energy, rare, magnetic, unforgettable. And once you felt it, something in you shifts. There's no going back to the ordinary. Today, I'm pulling back the curtain to reveal the truth. Habits that set the Sigma apart from every other man you've ever come across. And if you've ever found yourself drawn to someone you couldn't explain, what you're about to hear will explain everything. Here's a quick test for you when you meet someone new. Are you more drawn to the person who commands the room or the one who observes it in silence? Drop your answer in the comments. Also, think about this. Have you ever met someone whose presence quietly shifted the entire vibe of a room without them saying much? What exactly did you notice about their energy? I'd love to hear your take. Share your observation in the comments. Now, let's get personal. Number 1. He disappears right when you crave him most. Let's start with what feels like a paradox. The Sigma male, he knows exactly how to vanish. And not when you're ignoring him, but right when you're starting to feel something real. It's not ghosting. It's not playing games. It's deeper, almost spiritual. 1 minute, you're sharing laughter, momentum, sparks. And the next, silence. No fight, no warning, just distance that feels confusing and oddly personal. But here's the twist. You weren't imagining the connection. He felt it. 2. The intensity, the pull. But when things start to get too familiar, too accessible, too emotionally entangled, something inside him stirs. It whispers, you're losing your edge. You're slipping into routine. Return to solitude. You see, for the Sigma, solitude isn't loneliness. It's home. It's the sacred place where he realigns. He doesn't fear the loss of people, he fears losing himself. Let me ask you this. When emotional closeness starts to feel overwhelming, do you crave connection or retreat into solitude? Drop your answer in the comments. And to a woman, this behavior can feel maddening, like rejection. But in truth, it's not rejection. It's recentering. He's not running from you. He's returning to the version of himself that doesn't belong to anyone else. And when he comes back, he's different. Sharper, calmer, more grounded. Have you ever experienced someone pulling away without conflict, only to come back more centered? What did you notice about their energy shift? Share your observation in the comments. Here's the secret most miss. If you try to chase him during that silence, he'll retreat even further. But if you stay in your power, radiating, grounded, living fully, he may just return to find you shining just as brilliantly as before and realize he was drawn to you for a reason. Number 2, he studies you more than he speaks to you. Ever had the feeling he's reading you, really reading you, but barely says a word? That's not your imagination. That's what happens when you're in the presence of a Sigma male. He's a silent observer, a master of reading people without probing them. And no, he's not watching you like a creep. He's scanning your energy, your patterns, your emotional tells. You say you're okay, but your body says otherwise. He notices the subtle shift in your shoulders, the tightness in your smile, the flicker of emotion behind your eyes. He may not ask you in that moment what's wrong, but days later, with surgical precision, he'll say, "You seemed off last week. Is everything okay now?" And just like that, you'll realize he saw what no one else did. That's his gift. He gathers data in silence. He sees what's unsaid. He tracks the clothes you wear when you're nervous, the tone of voice that slips out when you're hiding something. His silence isn't absence, it's attention. And while most people mistake it for disinterest, those who look closer realize when a Sigma is quiet around you, he's absorbing every detail. And if he's watching you, understand, he's not ignoring you. He's doing what few men ever do. He's understanding you. Number 3, he speaks in layers, not lines. Try to keep it surface level with a Sigma, and you'll quickly realize it doesn't work. Ask him how his day went, and somehow you're pulled into a conversation about destiny, mortality, the weight of legacy, or the psychology of pain. He bypasses the fluff entirely. Small talk? That's a foreign language to him. He doesn't want to know your favorite food. He wants to know why you crave it when you're heartbroken. He doesn't flirt with pickup lines. He flirts with curiosity. And the weird part? You'll find yourself opening up, revealing things you've never shared with anyone before. Why? Because Sigma males don't engage with your persona. They go right for the core of who you really are. And they do it gently, through presence, through listening, through asking the right questions. He's the kind of man who listens so deeply that you forget you're being listened to, and somehow you say more than you ever intended. But it doesn't stop there. The next time you speak, he'll remember every detail. Not because he's keeping score, not because he's trying to win you, but because you were worth hearing. That's what separates him from the rest. The world talks to impress. The Sigma speaks to connect. And in a world full of noise, his presence feels like rare air, still, deep, and unforgettable. This rare ability to cut straight through shallow conversation doesn't just make a woman feel seen, it makes her feel felt. And that right there, that's a sensation most men will never understand how to create. It's not about attention, it's about emotional resonance. And for many women, that becomes a kind of drug. Not addictive because it's manipulative, but because it's so rare, so real. 4, he values his freedom more than your approval. Now, this one stings, especially for those used to men who bend to please. The Sigma male, he will lift you up, make you feel like a queen, a muse, a divine being, and then show you just as quickly that he'd rather disappoint you than betray who he is at his core. He's not interested in performing. He's not here to people please. And yes, he will walk away from love if it means keeping his soul intact. But this isn't arrogance. It's sacred self-respect, an unshakable alignment with his identity. Even if you cry, even if you plead, he won't fold. Why? Because the second a Sigma male starts living for your applause, he begins dying to himself. And that's a slow death he refuses to die. To the feminine heart, this can feel frustrating, infuriating even. You want him to meet you halfway, to give a little, to try. But Sigma males don't do halfway. They either feel something all the way, or they exit it gracefully and respectfully. And here's the paradox that changes everything. He's not trying to push you away. He's simply showing you that he won't stay in any space where he doesn't feel truly free. But if you're a woman who lives by that same truth, if you honor authenticity over comfort, you'll feel something unexpected in that honesty, a strange sense of respect, even in rejection. 5, he makes you feel like you're the only woman in existence, then vanishes into his mission. One of the most surreal experiences women often report about Sigma males is this. When he looks at me, it's like the whole world vanishes. That's not poetic exaggeration. That's the weight of his presence. When a Sigma man is with you, he's fully with you. He'll notice the flecks in your eyes, the crack in your voice when you speak of things you don't even understand yet. He'll memorize the scent of your favorite coffee shop and the way you tuck your hair behind your ear when you're nervous. And for a few hours, or even a few days, you'll feel like you're the only heartbeat in his universe. And then, he's gone. Just like that. Not because he's chasing someone else. Not because he's playing games. But because he's gone back to the work that defines his life. He's designing, building, lifting, thinking, creating. He's immersed in his mission, moving through it like a monk locked in a sacred prayer. To you, it might feel like emotional whiplash. 1 minute, you're his everything. The next, you're watching him disappear into a world he won't explain. But here's the truth. Sigma males don't split their attention. They either offer it fully or redirect it completely. That intensity, that depth, it doesn't come from someone who multitasks emotions. It comes from someone who devotes himself. And the mistake many women make is confusing his absence with disinterest. But if he's not around, it's not because he's forgotten you. It's because he refuses to forget himself. Let him go. Let him create. If it was real, he'll return. Not because you reminded him, but because something inside him remembered you. Even in the silence. Here's the unfiltered truth. Sigma males don't require your understanding. But once you understand them, you'll never look at men the same way again. Because once you've tasted that kind of stillness, that kind of raw masculine focus, you stop falling for the noise. 6. He makes you question every man who came before him. This change doesn't happen right away. But after a while, after spending time with a Sigma male, something in you starts to shift. Quietly, deeply, permanently. You'll go on a date with someone new, and suddenly you'll feel it. The difference. The way this new guy won't stop talking, but says nothing. The way he brags, or overlaughs, or fills every pause like silence is something to be feared. And in that moment, you'll find yourself longing for the Sigma's stillness. The way his quiet made you lean in. The way his gaze felt like a confession. The way he didn't try to impress you, because he wasn't trying at all. And that is what made it so damn powerful. Here's the part no one warns you about. Once you've been around a man who truly knows himself, your soul develops a filter. You stop tolerating games. You stop falling for empty charm. You start craving stillness, depth, truth. You want someone who can sit in silence with you and still feel like an entire book with no title, but all the meaning. That's what the Sigma awakens. Not just attraction, but discernment. And that's what makes him so dangerous. Not because he breaks your heart, but because he breaks your tolerance for anything less. And if this video touched something unspoken inside you, something you didn't even know had words, subscribe to Epic Persona. This isn't just content. This is a mirror for those who are done settling for shallow,